Hey everybody, so we're back again today with another mechanic job. It is a front main seal on a 2014 Dodge Cummins 3500. All of that needs to come out. I gotta drain the coolant. I'll show that here in a second. I also found his power steering box, or his, you can't see it from here, I'll show you when it's done, or his power steering line is leaking, so we're gonna have to take a look at that as well. So that's why we're changing it. You can see there's a pretty good leak around the rear main, or the front main, sorry. And then there's the power steering leak that I found. So I think it's just that line up top there. I think you can see it there. So we'll decide what it is and then go from there. So we're at the point now where we've got the fan shroud loose and everything. I'm just gonna break the fan nut off of the drive. It's reverse thread, so when the fan is spinning, it tightens itself. So I gotta go in the same direction of the spinning just to try and loose it off. We don't have any cardboard to put between the fan and rad, just because my brother won't let me break down one of his boxes. So normally I do that just so that we don't possibly poke a hole in the rad, but not my problem. We've got the fan and the shroud out of the way now. It's getting a little more accessible in here, thank God. There's some more stuff that needs to come off though. I gotta take off the fan pulley. The harmonic balancer is gonna have to come off. The belt tensioner needs to come off. And then we should be good to take off the timing cover here. Those should be the only things that will need to come off to get that off. But we might actually end up needing to take off this bracket as well, because now I look at it, it looks like it loops over the timing cover also. But it's pretty easy to take off once you get the fan pulley off. So we just have to hold the flywheel now so that we can loosen the bolts on the harmonic balancer. I've got the inspection cover off, and my brother's going to come down here with a pry bar to hold it. The harmonic balancer out. It took a little bit of time prying. You can see now clearly that the front main is definitely leaking, so we are going to have to remove all of the timing cover bolts. We'll clean it up so that nothing goes inside the engine, pull off the timing cover, and then you got to change it from the back side. Technically I've seen people do it from the front, but you're not supposed to, so I bought a tool to do it as well, because I did mine earlier this year. Just a quick little side note, here's my beer fridge for the shop as well. I normally don't drink while I'm working on people's vehicles, but this is my brother's truck, so we're both having a beer or two. So when you can see those two lights aren't on. When you push the button, you gotta run with it. No money required. Free beer! It's pretty awesome. So, as you can see, we had to loosen the power steering pump just to get to these two bolts. Kind of a pain, but not that bad. It was only 3 bolts. Yeah, I'll just remove those 2 bolts, and we just gotta pry this cover off, and we'll be able to swap out that seal there. That's the seal we got to change. It's supposed to be changed from the back side here. There's a special tool that sets the depth and everything. We'll just knock it out, and then we got to clean all this up, and there's a bunch of work. So now that we have the timing cover off, we got to take off all of this old silicone, just because the new stuff can't go on top of the old stuff. So we're going to try and do it without getting as much as possible in there. If we do get some in there, all we gotta do is spray it down with some brake clean and get most of it out. The rest of it will just be caught in the filter there. As long as there's no big chunks, it won't plug any orifices or anything like that either. So we've got everything cleaned up now, all the silicone's off the mating surface there. Now we're just going to brake clean down the timing gears, and then my brother's gonna have to do an oil change later to make sure that anything that got into the crankcase is gone. Now we just have to work on the actual cover itself. So I'm just going to take a wire wheel and clean off all this silicone, and then we'll have to clean it off with Varsol, pop out the old seal, pop in the new seal, and then it's ready to go back on with some new silicone. So it's all cleaned up now, and we are ready to put in the new seal. This is the seal. You gotta install it backwards because it does go from the front to the back, just like that. This is the special tool from Cummins that I bought. We're going to pound in the seal now. This seal is installed dry. You have to leave this pilot in so that when you put the cover on, it pushes this all the way out and the seal just flops onto the shaft there. The nice thing about this tool is it actually sets your depth. When it is bottomed out, the seal is installed properly, and there's no more need to hammer it down anymore. It sets the proper depth on its own. Now that we have the seal properly installed, we are going to put on some silicone and then put it back in the truck. We have the sealant on there now, and we're just gonna put it onto the engine. So we've got all the pulleys and everything back on. Everything is torqued up and ready to go. The silicone and the timing cover is good as well. Gonna put the belt on now. That'll be the last thing that we do tonight, just so that we can access that power steering hose.
Are you gonna tell the bird to shut up too?
just so that we can access that power steering hose tomorrow morning. Are you done? We will go and buy that hose tomorrow and change it out. We have everything back together now. My brother has taken it for a test drive. Everything seems good. No leaks. Nothing's wrong. So this job is done. We weren't able to do the power steering line, which I don't think you can see, but it doesn't really matter. We weren't able to do the power steering line just because there wasn't any in stock in town. So that's coming in tomorrow, and we'll just change that tomorrow. But thank you for watching. If you guys like these kinds of videos, please like, comment, and subscribe.